phone.
This is Star Radio UK.
getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the
Darkness.
whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So a very good evening to you out there and welcome to the Property Hour Show live on Star Radio UK. This and every Thursday from the hours of 7 p.m. To 8 p.m. where we talk about the property industry. In other words, in Africa and other parts of the world, it's real estate. And we discuss everything from investment to knowing the legal aspect of getting into property as a tenant, as a landlord, everything about property. And the amazing thing about the real estate industry is that you find more than 70 to 80 trades that you can work in. So you can start from the so-called lowest part of it, possibly photography, so many things, but you can end up being an investor. That's the amazing thing about the property industry. And this very evening, I'm super excited, and let me say I'm KB Bossman, your host, and my co-host is not here tonight. Vicky is on assignment, and so I'm by myself. My guest is all set and ready. I'll dive into a little bit about my guest and then we will roll. So Do us the biggest favor. We're streaming on so many platforms. On Facebook is a Star Radio. I beg your pardon. On Twitter is a Star Radio UK. On Facebook, couple of pages: Star Radio UK Global, Star Radio UK Global, Star Radio UK fan page, KB Bossman Facebook page, and also on let me say on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is vibrant and buzzing and ready, streaming across the world. We're also streaming on TuneIn Radio. You can download our amazing interactive user-friendly app and listen on the go. That's the good thing about Star Radio UK. And also www.starradiouk.com, where you get the best of entertainment, the best of education, the best of every trade that you want to think about. But our primary goal is to empower you, to inform you, in the end for you to be transformed. And so that's what we're here for tonight. We are going to dive into a topic: landlord and tenant relationship, the legal processes. It's amazing that if you're not a landlord, definitely you are a tenant. And so my guest is set and ready, and as I introduce her, you'll find out that, you know what, I am super excited. You have no idea how excited I am to introduce this personality that I don't want to talk that much, but let me welcome my let me give her the HE, where she doesn't like it at all, but I believe that she deserves it. So if you just joined us, keep on sharing. And my guest is the one and only Cynthia Opoku-Gyamfi has joined us, and I'll say that's not official. So if you're watching, please, it's not official. Her Excellency. And let me give you a little bit about her background. She was called to the bar. Can you believe it? She doesn't look it. In 2002. 2002. Some of you watching us were not even born. That's an amazing thing. And she was called to the bar in the Bar of England and Wales in 2002, Honorable Society of Middle Temple, and also as a barrister, not just a solicitor, but a barrister. You don't normally come across. I know what I'm talking about. A barrister at law, also admitted to the role of solicitors in England and Wales. She is an experienced civil law practitioner with extensive civil law practice since 2006, having attended over 15,000. Please hear this again. 15,000 hearings. I've never heard this in my entire life. 15,000 hearings in courts all over England and Wales. We're coming to something. She's also a supervising barrister and solicitor and senior lecturer at the Roehampton University Law School and Law Clinic. And having previously taught at Queen Mary University of London, also at the University of East London, she has special expertise in property law, both commercial and residential, litigation, insolvency, chancery, and family law. Cynthia also worked as the education officer with the Honorable Society of Middle Temple. Wow! She holds a law degree, that's the LLB, and from the University of East London, and a master's in law, LLM, from London School of Economics and Political Science, postgraduate diploma in legal studies from the Inns of Court School of Law, that's City University, and a second master's of law. I think we have to get this. We have to get this onto Faith Talk. That's where I can expatiate and make all the noise and shout my praises. And also our second master's in law in professional legal studies from the University of Law, and is an accredited mediator from the School of Psychotherapy and Counseling, Regent College, London. What an amazing, humbling achievement. And my first question. Okay, let me welcome you. Thank you so much for taking time, your busy schedule, to join us on the Property Hour show. We're super excited and humbled for you to join us.
Thank you very much. I call you Apostle Bossman. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to just share a little bit tonight. So thank you so much. I'm deeply honored to be here. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm very grateful.
Wow. I'm humbled. And to be quite honest, let me ask this before we go on. Where have you been? I mean, where have you been? That is the first question. That since 2002, practicing and doing what you've done. And to be quite honest, for our viewers and those watching, those that are crossroads and looking to give up and think that, you know what, I'm too old, I can't do it, I'm just giving up, it's all over. I just want you to share your story with our audience or viewers across the world, how it all started and why you decided to get into law.
Okay, gosh, I don't think you have enough hours in today for me to tell the whole story, so I'll try and be brief. I'm Ghanaian, of course.
Wow.
For my surname, Cynthia Opoku-Gyamfi. So how did I get into law? I think for me, as early as the age of 6, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I'm not particularly sure what made me think like that, but I was very determined from that young age to be a lawyer. So I pursued that. I came here to study my LLB at University of East London, finished in 2000, and then, as you've read out, went off to do my master's at LSE, and then was called to the bar in 2002. I worked a little bit at Middle Temple. Middle Temple is one of the Inns of Court. Every barrister belongs to an Inn of Court, and mine is the Honorable Society of Middle Temple. And then I got into practice since 2006. So it was, it has not been an easy journey. Getting into the profession was difficult. This is why I ended up being dual qualified as a solicitor and as a barrister. So because getting into the bar was becoming a little bit challenging, I crossed over and became a solicitor, and then crossed back to be a barrister. So in brief, that's my journey. Another time I'll come and do a whole show on how the details of that journey from 2002 to now. But in brief, that's just about it.
Wow. I mean, I'm honored. I must be honest with you. I'm honored to be interviewing you, and the work that you're doing. It's great, and we believe that the best is yet to come. So,
amen.
If you're watching us, my guest tonight is Cynthia Opoku-Gyamfi, and she's a barrister at law, focusing on as we say in our cycles, property law. We the street ones, we say property law, but she doubles also as a lecturer. So as she said, another time we'll find out how she's able to combine the two. Even for some to do one is headache, but to combine the two, how you do it, I don't know how you do it, but Possibly we'll find out. We're going to get you on Faith Talk so that we can get more of you.
Yes.
Now
that was great.
Yes, thank you. Let's dive into the main topic, basically because of time. In regards to our topic for tonight, and there's so much controversy. If I say controversy, people tend to think that in the United Kingdom, the law favors tenants because I'm not going to get you into the political side of things, but because of politics, because the politician is looking for more terms, votes, so they tend to shift or lean towards the tenant, and so because of that, landlords are squeezed and they are battered, they are slammed with all kinds of laws and fees and everything. So let me ask this: is that what it is, that landlords are squeezed whilst tenants are they are flexible with the law is flexible with tenants?
Thank you for that question. Obviously I'm not a politician, so I'm not going to get involved in a debate, but I think from how I see it, there is a balancing exercise. I mean, obviously the tenant, in a sense, is in a weaker position because they are the ones looking for somewhere to live. They don't own the property, and so there is a tendency for the law to step in and protect the weaker party in most things, as you can imagine. So, but I think that overall there is a balancing exercise. I have represented landlords and I've represented tenants in my journey, and I think there's a fair, in my view, I don't think the law protects the tenants more than the landlords, but of course that is a matter for debate. And as I said, I'm a lawyer. I stick to the black letter word, and that's what I can talk about. I can't get into the debate. I think there's a fair balance. You know, I'm sure you've heard about the rent reform bill, renters reform bill, for example.
Reform bill, yes.
There are, and I'm sure we'll get into that, but there are elements of it of which, for example, if I use an example of one of the things that are proposed in that particular bill, I stress the fact that it's a bill, it's not an act of parliament, it's not been passed, it's been proposed, and as I understand, currently it's in its second reading stage in the House of Commons. But one of the things in that bill, for example, is making it an implied obligation. So even if the parties don't expressly set it out in the agreement, the law will imply it in an agreement that a tenant can bring a pet into a rental accommodation.
Right.
I mean, in the past, I know that in the tenancy agreement that you're not allowed to bring pets into the property. But now, if the bill becomes an act, it will be an implied obligation in the agreement. But the law gives, on the one hand, the opportunity for a tenant who will otherwise struggle to get accommodation because they're coming with some kind of pets.
Yeah.
The law gives them the opportunity to be able to do so, but it also protects the landlord in the sense that, number one, it says the tenant has to seek the landlord's consent, permission from the landlord, and also describe the type of pet that they're bringing in. And the landlord cannot unreasonably refuse that request to bring a pet. But what the law does is then it gives the landlord the opportunity to insist or to ask that the tenant either takes a pet insurance or allows the landlord to take extensive insurance to cover pets and any damage that can be caused as a result of bringing a pet into the property. So this is what I mean by there is a fair balance in my view. You can bring the pet, but the landlord is also protected by being able to insist on insurance being taken to cover any damage that likely would occur with pets being in a property. So just an example to support my position that I think there's always a fair balance.
A fair balance. Okay. We're not discussing that tonight, so I will let you off on that, because I personally have a stand. I had a perception until during the pandemic, the lockdown, we were talking about the tenant fee ban, and in our research, some of the things that we discovered got us thinking that, wow, landlords are squeezed, and so many things. But let me leave it for now, and let's dive to the topic for the night. In terms of the legal process, when it comes to landlords and tenants, typically a case study is one of my clients that was telling me today is Thursday. On Wednesday, that it took her 3 years in court to evict. Is that fairness? I mean, to go through all this, what are some of the you give us a bit of education on the legal process, please.
Okay. Again, we've got the reforms coming, but we will leave that aside.
Okay.
At present, the main two ways, there are other ways, but the main basis on which most landlords bring eviction proceedings against tenants is either if the tenant is in arrears, or there's some kind of antisocial behavior going on in the property, or typically the landlord issues a Section 21 notice. So you've got a Section 8 notice that a landlord will usually issue if a tenant is in arrears of their rent payments.
Right.
And typically speaking, if you're 2 months in arrears on your rent,
yes,
then your landlord can serve you with a Section 8 notice. If the landlord serves you the Section 8 notice and you do nothing about it and the arrears continue to increase, then the landlord will issue possession proceedings against you, because the landlord cannot just simply evict you from the property. They have to go through court to evict a tenant. Now, if at the date of the hearing, the tenant is still more than 2 months or more in arrears, then the court will have to, it's a mandatory order. The judge cannot do anything other than grant a possession order. So the scenario where you describe about maybe a landlord having so much trouble evicting someone,
yes,
would typically not occur under Section 8 notice if at the date of the hearing the tenant is still more than 2 months in arrears. There's no discretion. The judge has to make an order for possession. If the tenant manages to reduce the arrears, then at the date of the possession hearing, it becomes a little bit difficult, because there are 3 grounds. You got ground 8 under Section 8, and I will explain.
Okay.
And then you've got grounds 10 and grounds 11. Grounds 8 is where the landlord, the tenant owes the 2 months at the date of the hearing. So 2 months when the Section 8 notice was served, and 2 months at the date of the possession hearing.
Right.
If the tenant manages to reduce the arrears, even if it's by £1 or 2 or 3 or more, at the date of the possession hearing, then the difficulty comes in, because then you can only go on grounds 10 and 11. Grounds 10 and 11 are discretionary grounds. That means the judge has the power to decide not to grant you a possession order, or give a possession order but suspend that order. Okay, so please stop me if I'm being technical. I'll try and explain it as best as I can.
Please go ahead.
So if the judge gives a discretionary order, then the order will be, the landlord will still get a possession order, but that order will be suspended on certain terms, and typically it will be on terms that the tenant pays the rent, the monthly rent as it falls due, and then pays an amount per month that will clear the arrears over the lifetime of the agreement, in effect. Okay, so you can't have that kind of situation where the landlord is then in difficulty because the order is suspended, the tenant falls back into arrears, the order is suspended, etc., etc., and then that's where the difficulty is. Or the landlord serves a Section 21 notice. If the landlord serves a Section 21 notice, that is a no-fault possession, where the landlord maybe simply wants their property back to sell it, or in some instances, and I have seen this in practice, where a tenant raises disrepair complaints against the landlord, and the landlord after a while will then issue you a Section 21, I don't want your trouble kind of thing, get out of my property. And this is why the reforms are quite interesting, how Section 21 is going to be removed, but then it will come back under Section 8, and we'll talk about it another time.
Okay.
So generally speaking, if you are coming on Section 21, Section 21, the judges, so long as all the paperwork are in order, again, the court has to grant a possession order, and they will grant a possession order in 14 days,
right?
Unless the tenant can prove exceptional hardship. And exceptional hardship, the way the law has described it, has to be something really exceptional. Something like, there's a woman in the property who's giving birth tomorrow. That level of exception, but not the usual inconveniences that comes with repossession. Okay, so the test is very high. So long as the paperwork are in place, i.e. you serve the Section 21 notice at the correct time, you give the correct notice period of 2 months, and it's very technical. It has to fall on a particular day. Of course, if people want further advice, they can contact me, and I can have a look at their Section 8 notices and Section 21 notices for them. But so long as the paperwork is in order, there shouldn't be a problem. The landlord should be able to get the possession order. What then happens is, once you've got the possession order is one thing. Evicting the tenant or getting the tenant out of the property is another thing. If the tenant is still in the property within the period that the court has given, so the court will normally give 14 days for the possession to be effected.
Right.
But if there's exceptional hardship, then they can give up to 6 weeks.
Okay.
And that's the maximum under the Section 89 of the Landlord and Tenant Act. That's how long you can give, and also under the Housing Act. That's how long, Housing Act 1988. That's how long you can give, 6 weeks notice for the tenant to leave. But obviously, if the tenant is still in the property, then that brings another hurdle, because then the landlord has to get a bailiff's appointment. You have to contact the court and get either a county court bailiff or a high court bailiff to then arrange the eviction to happen. And the tenant technically doesn't have to leave the property until the bailiffs turn at the door. Unfortunately, the law still allows the tenant to make an application to suspend the warrant on the basis that their circumstances have since changed. Okay.
Right.
So if, for example, the tenant was in arrears because, again, that's only if your possession order was made on a discretionary grounds, 11 and 10 and 11. If it's under ground 8, you cannot come back on it unless you appeal the original order. But if it's a discretionary ground, then they get a chance to again apply for the warrant to be suspended, etc. So that's how sometimes it can get, and it's the same situation if you have a mortgage, for example, and I'm sure maybe we'll deal with mortgage repossession of mortgage.
Exactly.
A bank or building society seeking to repossess a property, it will be similar kind of arrangements.
Similar. Thank you for that, because I was going to touch on the mortgage bit, but I think it's a totally different subject. So we'll make time and get you back on the mortgage side of things, because these two topics are very, very important. It's happening like nobody's business in these times. So one of the questions that I would like to ask you in your submission, you mentioned that if, let's say, it goes to court and the tenant even makes a payment of £1, is it dependent on the judge, or is it dependent on the tenant's circumstances?
Okay, so the judge, the difficulty the judge has is if the mandatory ground is made out, i.e. that is the date on which the Section 8 notice was served, the tenant was 2 months or more in arrears, and the date of the hearing, the tenant is 2 months or more in arrears, the judge can't do anything about it. So that's ground 8. But once the tenant reduces the arrears on the date of the hearing, and I've had this where I've turned up in court acting for either a landlord, acting for the landlord, and the tenant shows up and they were like, oh, I've made a payment this morning, and sometimes I'm sure they've gone to see some duty advisor or so, and they've advised them to pay £3 or something like that, and it reduces the arrears to below 2 months. When that happens, the grounds change. Normally, when you're issuing proceedings as a landlord, they will always plead grounds 8, 10, and 11, just as a belt and braces to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So you can still get possession even if it's suspended. So to answer your question, it's not necessarily up to the judge. If the tenant reduces the arrears, then it's up to the judge whether to grant an outright order or to give a suspended order, because grounds 10 and 11 are discretionary. They are up to the judge, so the judge will have the chance to look at the tenant's income, their particular personal circumstances, accept evidence as to why they fell into arrears, listen to the explanation, and if the judge feels that the tenant is now in a position to resume the rental payments as they fall due, then the judge will give them a chance. They are quite reluctant to evict people, grant outright orders, I must say. Depending on whose side I'm representing, I tend to think that the judges have difficulty evicting people. Naturally, of course, evicting people is a difficult, it's a draconian thing. So it's important for the judges to be sure. If you can't pay, then of course they're not going to let the landlord be in difficulty, because the landlord has mortgage to pay if their property is mortgaged. So they are fair, but I must say, in my view, if it's under 8, 10 and 11, then the judges are likely to grant a suspended possession order.
Okay.
Or adjourn it. Or adjourn it for 2 months or so to monitor how the tenant then repairs the damage, as it were.
Okay.
I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes, you've nailed it, and thank you for that. If you've joined us, there's a question that has come in. That's why I'm laughing. If you've joined us, please keep on sharing the link and let somebody. We're here to learn. We're here to be educated and be informed, so that we get transformed. Now, if you want to send us a message, it on WhatsApp is 07539661744. That's 07539661744. Or you can also, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can send us a message on our YouTube channel. I've seen some questions already, and also on Facebook, on all the pages, you can send us a message, or let me say a question or a contribution, and I believe that our guest will be more than happy to answer. Our time, it's we working, pushing against time, but we'll try and squeeze everything in. Let me take the first question. Okay, I have one from WhatsApp and I have one from YouTube. On YouTube is Fatih Grace Ibrahima, and she says, does that work with council property as well? Fatih, if you can please qualify it as to what works, as to does what work in terms, is it eviction? Are you talking about eviction? Or if you can qualify it, then I believe our guest will be more than happy to answer that. Now, the first question on our WhatsApp is coming from David. David says that does the landlord have to go to court to evict?
If the tenant, I mean, there are some tenants. That's a good question. Thank you, David, for that. If the landlord serves the notice, the notice obviously gives. So, for example, if you serve a Section 8 notice, the Section 8 notice in the standard form tells you when the landlord can start possession proceedings. Okay, it gives the date on which they can start possession proceedings.
Right.
If before then the tenant leaves the property, if they come to an arrangement with the landlord and say, well, I will leave on that date, then of course there'll be no need to go to court to evict. But if the tenant doesn't sort of comply with the notice, then the landlord must go to court to be able to evict. They cannot just turn up and change the locks. That will be a breach of your right to quiet enjoyment of the property. Okay, as part of the landlord's obligations and the tenant's obligations and rights in every tenancy agreement, there's a very important clause that always has to be there. If it's not there, the law implies it. The law will put it there. And that's the right to quiet enjoyment of the property. So if the landlord cannot just turn up and just change the locks.
Whilst the tenant is not paying, they're enjoying quietly.
Unfortunately, even if they're not paying, you cannot force. You cannot. There are case laws where landlords will be turning up, banging on the doors. That will be a breach of the tenant's right to quiet enjoyment, and they can actually sue you for that breach, even if they're not paying their rent. So if they're not paying their rent and you issue the notice, you have to follow the procedure. If they leave before, then of course that there will be no need to go to court. But if the dates when you can start proceedings kick in, then you must start possession proceedings. So in answer to your question, David, yes, you would need to go through court to evict the tenant unless the tenant voluntarily leaves within the time frame that they've been given.
Powerful. There are a couple of questions. Some of them are interesting, and so let me acknowledge some brothers and powerful men of God that have joined us. I have on here Prophet Brida Kwete and also Prophet Samuel Tanga. Bros, thanks for joining, and also my brother and friend Kwejo Asante, all the way from the Republic of Wellingborough. And he's put out a question, but let me read a question from Kevin first on WhatsApp. Kevin's question is, if you have a tenant who is owing 4 months and still counting, and they keep giving excuses, do you have to go through the process whilst you owe council tax, bills, and other things to keep the property running? Please advise.
Sorry, what was the name again?
That's Kevin. Kevin.
Kevin, thank you, Kevin, for your question. Unfortunately, the answer is still the same. So the tenant owes you 4 months rent. I'm assuming you're talking on behalf of the landlord, or you are the landlord.
Yes.
And the tenant owes you rent of 4 months, and they're giving you excuses. My general advice is that once the tenant crosses the 2 months, you really need to serve the Section 8 notice. You don't have to evict them. You just let them know you're serious. Because if you and I had this actually I think just last week, 27th, what day was that? 26th, or I think it was 26th or 27th. I had a hearing where I don't think I've ever met a nicer landlord like that. The person was in arrears of over, the rent is like just £700, and they owed almost 20-something thousand pounds.
What?
And the landlord was very reluctant. Yes, that's much arrears, and the landlord was very reluctant to even evict. He felt very bad actually bringing the tenant to court. But the problem is, if you don't actually help them by serving them with a notice that make them realize there is a problem and they need to resolve it, the arrears are only going to increase. If they increase, even if you evict them and you get judgment for the arrears they owe you, difficulty is that if they were not able to pay you whilst they were tenants with you, when you evict them, the chances of you getting your money back is very slim. I mean, you will get a CCJ against them. Yeah. But, and I appreciate that CCJ will be valid for 6 years. You can enforce it for 6 years. Okay. But it is better for you, once they cross the 2 months mark, to just serve them with a Section 8 notice. Right. And don't take any action, even if you decide that, look, I'm just going to let you be there. That way you're protecting yourself in some ways. I think once you set the Section 8 notice, you've got about 1 year or so within which you can use that same Section 8 notice to take legal proceedings. So I would say 4 months, you have to pay council tax. I'm assuming that their rent is inclusive of all the bills. Exactly. So you're having to pay council tax. You're having to pay either your superior landlord or your mortgage company, and you shouldn't really be encouraging. I appreciate that some tenants go through genuine financial difficulties, but it depends on your relationship with them if you want to allow them to keep staying there. But you have to know that at some point the arrears are going to be so high, and the higher they are, the less chances you are getting it back. That's true. So my answer to you, Kevin, is that you still have to take them to court. You still will have to serve them with a notice. Decide at which point you serve that notice. And my advice is, after 2 months, maybe on their third arrears, serve them with a notice. Okay. That way, again, you can still give them room, but you've engaged the legal process. Okay. I hope that answers the questions for you.
I believe so. He's not sent a follow-up question, but let me I think Fatih Grace Ibrahima has come up, but before I do that, let me read this one, basically to just to should I say calm the waters. There's no heat here, so okay, so there was a comment here from. Okay, I can't see the comment anymore, but there was a comment from Kweju Asante. But let me go to Fatih. Fatih Grace Ibrahima says, a family member of mine is owing council because he couldn't pay his rent during lockdown. Because he wasn't receiving any earning. He's since been paying after COVID, but he's struggling to pay the outstanding. Now council wants to repossess his property. What can he do?
Public law, I mean, the council's position is it's similar, but it's slightly different. I mean, they're much more, the courts are much more inclined to grant suspended orders if the council takes you to court because of rent arrears. Okay, so generally speaking, I mean, in my experience, even if you can pay very little amount of money, I've seen cases where the additional, I mean, obviously during COVID, your friend is not able to pay rent. After that, if their circumstances have changed and the council, and they're still not paying their rent, then of course at some point the council will take them to court.
Yeah.
But the room, there's more room for getting a suspended orders when it comes to the council, because they've got an obligation to house you, as it were. So if you become homeless, it's going to be their own problem again, unless if you don't pay your rent, I have to say, you become intentionally homeless, which is another, maybe one day, Mr. Bossman, we can do the public law side of things.
That'll be good.
Because it's much more, I'm conscious that it's now 8 o'clock, and it's much more, but generally speaking, Fatima, your sister or your cousin can make an offer to the council to resume payment of their weekly rent and something very little a month towards the arrears. Okay, so they must make an offer, even if it's £10 a month that they are offering to reduce the arrears that they owe on their rent. They should make that offer to the council. It's always best, give them your income, your expenditure, let them see that you're able to afford what you're proposing. But with council, it's much less stringent. You can make reasonable offers, and that should be taken into account. Otherwise, the courts are much more lenient in council housing, and they will grant a suspended order. The council may still get a possession order, but it will be suspended on terms. But maybe, Fatima, we will come back again another time, and I will address the public law housing matter as well.
Okay, public law housing matter. And so
or let me say also that apart from, I'm in chambers at Clark's Room Chambers, so if anybody wanted to find me, if you put my name, if you Google my name, it should my chambers email address and phone number should come. But apart from of course, if you go through chambers, it will be paid, but I also do free legal advice through the Roehampton University Law Clinic.
Okay.
And if you come and see me there, every case I do from the law clinic is free of charge, so I can assist you through there if you need any help.
Barrister, then I'll be there. Which days?
Not for landlords. No, I'm kidding. No, anybody. If you have any property related, and of course, I also practice in family law and general consumer law as well. If you need any advice with that, I can assist free of charge through the law clinic.
Right. Okay. But do you have specific days for the law clinic?
Yes. The law clinic is Roehampton University Law School Clinic.
Okay.
And we operate on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We're open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Only problem is we normally are closed during the school holidays. So then when university is on holidays, the law clinic shuts. At the moment we are shut, but we'll resume in beginning of October. So any family law issues, property law, consumer law, employment law, we're happy to advise you on that for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then we'll be visiting pretty soon in October. we'll be visiting in October, but what a joy! I mean, there's okay, I believe, no, there's not much in terms of questions or contribution. No, not much. So because of your time as well, I want to say thank you. I know we've not even scratched the surface of this topic, and so by popular demand, based on your schedule, we will speak and find a suitable time that we can come back and educate, because these are some of the things that gets landlords into all kinds of challenges, and also it gets tenants into all kinds of challenges. And what my takeaway is the £1 that the £1 that you can pay is amazing. This country has some interesting laws that you can fall on. £1.
I mean, just reduce it below 2 months, then the court has powers to do something to help you.
Wow.
But of course, for landlords, that is painfully annoying, because then you move from mandatory orders to discretionary orders that opens up all sorts. But thank you.
But so before we go, so does this apply to also mortgages? Let's say if there's a possession order that has been served, can you also go on the same route as paying something that will get it under 2 months, or with mortgage is different?
No, it's different, because with mortgage arrears, I mean, if the landlord, if the mortgage company, if you owe the mortgage company, it's generally speaking around 2 months as well, they can issue possession proceedings against you. But with the test for suspending an order is slightly different. You know, it's similar but different with mortgages. With mortgages, you have to show that you can resume payments of your regular mortgage installments, plus pay an amount a month towards, to clear the arrears over the lifetime of the mortgage. So there isn't necessarily a Section 8 kind of arrangement where you reduce the rent and then it goes to discretionary. Mortgages, the judge has the power to suspend, but to exercise that power, and that's under Section 36 of the Administration of Justice Act, for the judge to be able to exercise that power, you have to be able to show that your circumstances have changed somewhat, that you can pay the arrears. But obviously, if at the date when the possession hearing is due to be had, the arrears are cleared, if you manage to clear the arrears, then the judge will not grant an order of possession. Okay, so that's the escape with mortgages. You can clear the arrears, then the judge will adjourn the proceedings, and normally they will give liberty for the bank to apply within a certain period. But you can clear the arrears, avoid the possession order, or can show the judge at the date of the hearing that you can resume your mortgage payments as they fall due, and you can pay something a month towards the arrears. And there was a Court of Appeal decision that set it in stone that the calculation or the maths for judging what is a reasonable amount towards the arrears is you judge it by the lifetime of the mortgage. So if you've got 20 years left, you divide your arrears by that 20 years, and that's the minimum you can pay on top of your regular mortgage to get the possession order suspended or adjourned.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that it does, and thank you for that. And let me end with this in just 1 minute. The most interesting eviction I've ever had was an unconventional way, let me put it that way, where a landlord was being dragged through the mud, no payment of rent for 2 to 3 years, and then he had a conversation with a friend, and the friend said, "Oh, somebody was talking to me about a guy that can help the eviction process even much faster than the courts." So he went to see the guy, and the guy said, "Okay, just show me the address. It's not going to be, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to go and just drag the person out, but just show me the property and I'll be more than happy to help you." So lo and behold, the landlord showed the property to this gentleman, and after a week he had a phone call from the tenant screaming on top of his voice and raining insult on the landlord, that he didn't know that he was into all kinds of occultic things and juju things and all those stuff, and he should come and take his property, that he's not even going to leave the property, he's left all his stuff there and blah 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 blah. So the way the guy was evicted, they had to use an animal to do that, and it was a very calm animal who was waiting for him. When he went out, he came back, and so he never returned. So that was the route that the landlord used, and it's a very interesting.
That is shocking. It's not legal.
I mean,
definitely very shocking.
To him, he doesn't know what the guy did. All that he got to know was that the tenant was no more in the property. He had a phone call that, you know what, hey, come and take your property. I didn't know that you were into all kinds of these things, and I'm not interested anymore. So that was how he got his property back after 2 years. So sometimes people can do their own stuff to get their own results, but I know as solicitors or as barristers and solicitors, you have to go through the courts. The street boys also have their way sometimes, so maybe sometimes you have to forgive them. But then on a more serious note,
I make no comment.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time and your submission, the education that you've given tonight. We highly appreciate it. Thank you ever so much, and we know we're going to get you back again, because there's more for us to learn and unlearn and relearn. So thank you so much. I'll let you have some closing remarks that you want to give to us, please.
No, just to say thank you so much again. I really, really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope it's been helpful. And I look forward to coming back to talk on other matters and other topics as well. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you for everyone that sent in questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. You've really highlighted and given us some good tips, and also educated. You've given us good education and open our eyes to some of the things that we take for granted. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye. Thank you so much.
All right then. Thank you. So you had it for yourself, and you've got to make sure that you work within the law. You know what you're doing. If you're not too sure, please make sure you get a legal brain or a legal advice in terms of the property, the processes, legal processes, and all that. So you had it all for yourself. My guest has been Cynthia Opoku-Gyamfi. She's a barrister at law in England and Wales, and also a senior lecturer at Roehampton University, the Faculty of Law. And you know what? Amazing woman, and endowed with so much wisdom and the wealth of knowledge she's got. I believe that she's going to be a blessing to all of us. So keep faith, and let's keep sharing, so that you know what, you will save somebody from that error, that mistake, whether a landlord or a tenant. And there's more to come. So, and also let me say that join me on Sundays, Double Dose on Faith Talk. Is the album launch for Akosia Owusua. The latest album is Glorious God, and we are going to unveil it on Faith Talk on Sunday, 4 p.m. Sharp. It's going to be as they say, it's going to be lit. And so you don't want to miss it for anything. Now, right after the launch of the single for Akosia Owusu, I'm going to have in the studio the servant of God, that is Prophet Joseph Ashom Damali, all the way from Accra, Ghana, and he's in town. He's going to come in and bless us the pathway of the prophetic. You know what? That man is a praying machine. And if you need prayer, if you want to ignite your prayer life, you've got to be on the show on Sunday. And so Sunday from 4 p.m. it's a double dose worship, prayer, prophetic declaration and ministration on Faith Talk live. And come the evening time, it's going to be, I'm going to be with my brother and friend, Minister Jojo Emmanuel Lawson, on his show on Rainbow Radio, and it's going to be a massive intercession and supplication, sharing the word. So Sunday is a packed day. Do join us also on Facebook on that as well. And but then it's going to be super charged on Sunday in the studios of Star Radio UK. You're never going to be the same. But thank you for joining us. Your questions, if you need information about Barrister Cynthia Opoku-Gyamfi, I'm more than happy to give you that. You can give us a call during the day on 0208 133 2258. If we're not in, leave us a message. We'll be able to get back to you. Or if you need the information, you can send me. If you're on my Facebook or you are on YouTube, send me a message and I'll be more than happy to share her details so that she can be of help to you. You heard it for yourself. There are free sessions as well that they offer to you, and I think that's a super one. And also next week it's another powerful time, and we're gonna get Cynthia back. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be bigger and better than ever before. And also let me say that in the coming weeks, there's something you don't want to miss. There's a book out there called The Millionaire in Your Family. This gentleman is going to share his story with you and how he's made it on the continent of Africa, southern Africa, and you don't want to miss it. I believe it's on the 27th of July. You don't want to miss it. Make time. And so tomorrow morning, Archie and the team are going to be here, Olayomi, and also Archie are going to be on the morning show from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Make a date to hear the news, and also as they discuss all the hot topics, what is trending, what is making news, breaking news, and all the news. They will be here, and so join them, and I believe that is going to be lit. And yes, the 27th, make a date. 27th, you don't want to miss this. It's a book launch on the Property Hour show. It's going to be a good one. And let me say thank you to all our sponsors: M&M Concept, amazing graphic design company, and all Printworks, merchandise, pull-up banners, and not to talk about the amazing professional work that they've been doing all these years, running over a decade and have experienced hands that have been handling all the designs and print works. It's M&M Concept. Katie and the team, we salute and appreciate you. All the beautiful flyers that you see come across, it's got to be M&M Concept. You know what? There's a discount awaiting you. Connect and let us offer you the discount on 0208 133 2258, 0208 133 2258. And let me say also that thank you to Kerry's Furniture, one company on 2 continents. Oh wow. And the good news is that the branch in Ghana is located at Committee 25. If you're looking for a furniture company that will give you value for money but will not compromise on quality, is Kerry's Furniture. And in Atlanta, Georgia, they will deliver to your doorstep from Caracas to Casablanca and from Bogota to Achimbegro. They will be able to deliver to your doorstep. And to connect with Kerry's Furniture, that's Kharis, and they'll be able to deliver. They can furnish your residential, your Airbnb, talk about your hotel. They can do just that. All furniture, they'll be able to do that. And let me say that a big thank you also to me associate. If you're undertaking a project in Ghana, you know what, you might have bent your fingers with friends and family. Don't do that anymore. Tend to Mia Associate, and they'll be more than happy to take your project from where it's been left in a mess, and you know what, give you value for money. Professionals in the industry for close to 20 years, and these guys have worked in the United Kingdom, and now they are operating in Ghana. So why don't you let the professionals handle all the headache for you, whilst you relax and chill out and work hard, that you get value for your money. It's Mayor Associate, from conception to completion. They'll do just amazing work for you. And the last but not the least is www.cigpropertyuk.com. CIG Property UK. You know what? If you're looking to invest in Africa, in real estate, or in Dubai, or if you're looking to invest in the United Kingdom, look no further. They have some amazing deals that are ongoing in the United Kingdom, in Dubai, and also in Africa, in Accra, in Ghana, I beg your pardon, in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Kenya. And so look no further. CIG Property is it's your best source when it comes to the property industry. If you're in the UK, you're looking to let your property, you're looking to sell, you're looking to get a mortgage, look no further. CIG Property will be more than happy to do that for you. So give them a buzz on 0203916 5588. That's 0203916 5588, and they'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you ever so much for tonight. It's been a good journey, and I've loved every bit of it. Good night. God bless. No stress, nothing less. And hey, see you next week, God willing. And on Sunday, don't miss it, 4 p.m. sharp UK time. Fate Talk, the launch of the latest single of Akosua Owusu, A Glorious God, and also the prophet himself, the prayer machine, the man that prays 72 hours non-stop. It's amazing. You'll get to know and get to experience that impact. So join us on Sunday, 4 p.m. On Sunday. It's going to be another powerful time in the presence of God. I'm KBA Bossman. Thank you for joining us, and have a good evening and good night. And let me say a big shout out to you out there, all the great apostles, those that join us, Apostle Samuel Tanga and Apostle Brad Akwete. Thank you so much, and those that sent in the questions as well, thank you. And I'll say
thanks for listening.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB.
You in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Make that move now this festive season to your new home address at GHS Housing Estates. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimotamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Thanks for listening.
Sit back, relax. Broadcasting live online.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Thanks for listening. While the others keep on talking, we keep on rocking.
Online, on mobile, and soon
Sit
on
back,
DAB.
relax.
It's Star Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Thanks for listening.
online, on mobile, and soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.